where the formula are the rules and the one referring to the fact that this is the top tier of motor racing. The Nürburgring is the only F1 track to have hosted 3 different races: the German Grand Prix, European Grand Prix and Luxembourg Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel holds the F1 record for the shortest time elapsed before picking up a penalty. He was caught speeding in the pit lane in practice for the 2006 Turkish Grand Prix almost immediately after he exited the garage, just 9 seconds into his F1 career. I'm not superstitious, but in the long and fruitful history of F1, no one with the surname all previous World Championship winners. 24 hybrid era of F1 car development. The biggest change being the engines, which were changed.
Hello everybody and welcome to the second and final pre-season race for Formula Regional Series today, round Silverstone in the UK. The final little test for our drivers before it's lights out in 1 week time in Bahrain. It's a final chance for us to see where we should expect everybody to form up. And the first man to set a lap in the pretty tricky wet conditions will be F1 Mad. So interesting that we've got rain in this qualifying session. It'll be interesting to see just which of these drivers begins to struggle more in the wet. Which ones thrive. It can be a great leveler. JD's already retired. He may have made a mistake through the fast right-hander before Maggots and Beckett's. Poor mistake from him on the wets. And he's retired from the session. But our attention comes straight back to F1 Mad in the Williams this season, alongside Josh Owen. It's a very, very strong lineup for the Williams outfit. And they will be ones to watch for the Constructors' Championship. 2 fresh faces in the Williams team. That's a little bit wide there by F1 Mad. And it means he jumps over the white lines. And his first lap will be invalidated. So the next driver to actually probably complete a lap won't be the Red Bull. It's actually Jensen, I believe, who is going purple in the middle sector. So sort of proves our rule. Jensen with 1 more sector to go. Pretty strong season last year for Jensen. Still yet to get his maiden victory in the Formula Regional Series. But you can't help but feel it is coming. He will be a very consistent front runner this season as he sets the initial pace with a 135 flat. As Demizzi comes round with a 138.2. But he does have time to improve. 30 minutes still left in the session. But it's a nice solid banker to start things off for Jensen. Fresh faces as well this season, as you can see. Some drivers from the year before. We've also got some freshmen all looking to see who will claim the top spot come the final round. Rodrigo comes across the line now with a 34.8, a good lap from him. And then Smoking Cheese, our current vice champion, coming across the line in P3. Cheese joining midway through the season and narrowly missing out on the championship. It came down to the last race. He managed to close on Track Racer. As F1 Mad comes across the line and he now tops the timing sheets. So he went again after his invalidation and finds himself at the top with a 1:34.6. So the time's already going down. I believe the track may be improving with the drivers going round. And also they're improving themselves as they get into the groove. Smoking Cheese is going again here, and we'll look at his second sector split, because it does look like a bit of an improvement this lap. Yep, a whole second quicker. So whether he made a mistake during his opening lap, or if he's just found that much more time, we don't know. But it will mean, as we come round the final sector, if he finds a little bit more, a couple tenths, could be front row, maybe even pole position here. One final corner to negotiate for Smoking Cheese as he comes across the line, and he does take provisional pole by quite a long margin, a 1:33.8 for Smoking Cheese. It's a good lap. It puts him comfortably in the lead, and there was a spin there we just saw. It's Rodrigo pushing a little bit too hard, trying to get on the power too early. Here's Noodle coming across. Was in a Williams for a long stint of last season. He's joined Red Bull for this year. And P7 he goes. A good lap from him. Pretty solid middle of the road lap from Noodle. He will be a point scoring threat for majority of the races this season. I do believe the calibre of drivers has probably increased ever so slightly, however, he still definitely has the pace to get up the grid. The next person who hasn't set a lap that will set a lap will be Josh Owen as well. A late addition last season. He's joined the Williams team for this year. In the Williams alongside F1 Mad. I think if we're talking early predictions, there could be a very heated battle for the Constructors' Championship between Williams and Alpine. Alpine with that super strong lineup of Jensen and Smoking Cheese. With an F1 Mad and Josh Owen will also be tough to beat. I reckon that could be a battle that will go right down to the wire. Josh is up 1:13.8 as we go through the middle sector. Just a few more corners to negotiate a little bit of traffic in the Aston Martin, but he does make sure he gets out the way just about. With a few corners to go, he'll look for a nice, neat end to the lap. He's a little bit of a way off. I think he will improve on this again. Whether he made a mistake or he's just really sandbagging, I'm not too sure. He'll come across the line. It will be last, so that would have been a mistake somewhere for Josh. But he will definitely go again. And I'd imagine it would be a lap much more representative of his time and of his pace. Mercedes as well. Another fresh face to the league, Tyler Jenkins. He's joined alongside Bananas, who had a few solid results here and there last season. Some pretty good points scoring opportunities for him last year, which he grabbed with both hands. He is one of those that is right on the cusp of points consistently. that Mercedes team will be looking to take some major steps forward at the bottom of the Constructors' Championship for a long way last season. Two fresh faces should hopefully push him to be a very, very solid midfield outfit as Tyler does go P9. A solid lap from him. Just inside the top 10. Josh Owen has improved this lap. It's looking a lot better. That delta in the top right-hand side of your screen. With a few more corners to negotiate. Does this see him into the top 5? It does. It sees him onto the front row even better. And he chips away that gap that Smoking Cheese has at the front. So P2 at the moment for Josh Owen. And just as we expected, the top 4 consists purely of the Alpine and Williams cars. So only a few drivers yet to settle up. Banana still hasn't come out on track yet to settle up in the Mercedes. We've got Senior Ghosts at the moment going through the Maggots and Beckett's complex. Down the straight he goes. It's purple on the mini-map. Could this be a very, very quick time? We have to wait and see. The Delta looks good. He's got 10 seconds to go until he gets to the line, but it is looking like a very quick lap. A bit of a mistake there. Struggled to get the car rotated, but he did just about enough to keep it going in a straight line, and across the line does take provisional pole. So a fresh face, the new man, and Senior Ghost takes provisional pole in the Ferrari. It's a very, very good lap indeed from him, especially against Smoking Cheese. But the times are definitely going down. So you see Demizzi completing his lap. Is that an improvement? Yes, it is. And he joins his teammate inside the top 10. He jumps up to P9 so far. A decent little lap from him. There's still definitely a lot more margin for improvement though, both for both Red Bulls. Red Bull obviously securing the Drivers' Championship last year. Not 100% sure whether they'll be able to redeem that feat or get anywhere near the Constructors. But everything obviously remains to be seen. At the moment they are looking to be set up like a very, very solid midfield outfit for this year, as he runs very, very wide as you go through the middle sector. But most drivers in the pits now saving up, waiting to go for one final time in the session. As you can see, he's racing back to make sure that he gets in on time. We should, any minute now, really start to see the drivers peel back out of the pits. So here we go then, 3 minutes left in the session. And we'll see what they can do. One final little chance. Jensen selected the softs in the pits. I highly doubt he will be coming onto the track with those. Maybe just checking to see if the track is at all ready, which I really don't think it is. But Rodrigo is purple in the middle sector. Looks like a pretty quick lap here from Rodrigo. He did show snippets of his pace last season. He showed signs of brilliance. One more sector to go. Struggled to get on the power early. There's a lot of loss of traction there, which cost him a little bit of time. But nevertheless, P5 then for Rodrigo for now with a 134.4. If he's got enough fuel in the car, he can have a cool-down lap and then go again. It will be tight though, and the first person who will come across to complete their final flying lap, he may have time for 2, but it is Noodle in the Red Bull, currently sat P10. He will look to improve on that. He had some brilliant races last season. You look back to the likes of Monza, where him and his teammate fighting all the way through the race. A bit of a yellow flag as the driver's getting out of the way, but people are starting now to peel out of the pits finally to get their last lap done. But we'll stay on Noodle, who is 2.5 seconds down on his previous best, so not the most fantastic start for him. IRT Massey also on a lap. Is he improving? 0.2 up on his time is Massey in the Aston Martin. Another team that will look to be on the up this season. We'll see what Noodle can do. Coming through the second sector, he's got Magnets and Beckett's now to negotiate. You can gain a lot of time through here, as much as you can lose it. If he keeps it on rails, keeps it going, it looks relatively neat. Probably not the best we've seen it, but it's neat and tidy. And that's all you need, especially in the wet. But he is still even further down. 0.5 away from his personal best. Now he's losing time. Massey in the Aston Martin behind. He's slowed. No, he's given up on his lap. He might go again. But he's pulled out of this one. What about Noodle? Is he going to improve in this final sector? Is a lot of time left on the table that he needs to find. As he comes across the line, it's not going to be an improvement, but he will surely go again. He may have used that as a warm-up. Only time will tell. Banana's not coming out of the pits. I don't think he's going to be setting a lap then today, and he will be starting from the back. Smoking Cheese on his outlap. We've got a few drivers just completing their warm-up laps, and we'll be going now. Senior Ghost, one of them, currently on provisional pole, so we will keep an eye on him. Smoking Cheese on his outlap as well, warming up those tyres, but this is the man that could take pole position. Senna Ghosts, what can he do? Currently in provisional P1 in the Ferrari. Did he find any more time from that lap that did look already very, very good? Coming through the first sector, what is the split? Has he found even more time? He has. Just under 1/10. He has gained. F1 Mad comes across the line. He's invalidated his lap, but he will go again. He's got enough time. But everyone else now on their final flying laps. What can they do? Senna Ghost still in that middle sector. We'll wait to see his split. The next person across the line will, I believe, be Noodle. Has he gained any time? The split looks a little bit more healthy for him. His final sector's alright. Maybe he can push himself even further into this top 10. IRT Massey didn't go again. That's it for his qualifying. He's P11 at best. What about Noodle though? Coming across the line. Does he find any time? He does. Boosts himself up into P8. A decent lap from him. His teammate, he's still going as well. He does look a little far off the delta though as he comes across the line. No, perhaps not. P6 for him. A very, very good lap as Josh O moves his way up into P2. What about Ghosts? What can he do? One corner to go. He's 2.5 up on his previous best already. Across the line. 133 flat. That's a very, very good lap. What about Smoking Cheese? His teammate, Ghost's teammate, goes through into P4. Now P5 as Alfie goes through. Only one man can take pole now. It's Smoking Cheese. Currently P3, the vice champion. Has he got anything to come back at Ghosts? He comes across the line now. Does he take pole? He does. Smoking Cheese, it's inevitable in qualifying. He moves to Alpine, but it's business resumed. Smoking Cheese claims pole position, but Senna Ghost is right behind him on the front row in P2. Huge laps from the pair of them. But Smoking Cheese once again in qualifying, proving just how quick he is. But there it is. There is your grid for the final pre-season race around Silverstone. It's Smoking Cheese on pole position with Ghosts P2 in the Ferrari. And then there's a bit of a drop-off in pace before Josh Owen and Alfie round off the second row. And then it's QRT, Baton, and then Jensen, followed by Rodrigo, Debizzi, F1 Mad, Noodle, IRT Massey, it's Lee, Tyler Jenkins, and JD, who didn't set a lap in that McLaren. Same with Bananas in the Mercedes. But it will be interesting to see those two climb up the field during the race. Both of them very quick and more than capable of points. McLaren is another team that we do need to keep an eye out for as well. Interesting lineup this season. Very, very good pace. Race winning potential. Whether they'll still be there at the end fighting for the constructors remains to be seen. But now we can focus our attention again to the final race, the final little challenge before the lights go out in round 1 for Bahrain. Any minute now we will be going for the British Grand Prix. One final chance to see what this fresh grid for Season 2 of Formula Regional Series has to offer. Here we go then. 5 red lights and the final race of pre-season is underway. And it looks like a pretty decent start from Smoking Cheese. He remains in the lead. Ghost has got Josh Owen to try and contend with it as we go through the first sector. It's nice and neat from everyone else. Aside from that, as we go through turn 1, Jensen sort of going backwards now. He's dropping to P9, P8. There's a few changes in the midfield as well, but Smoking Cheese holds firm so far in the lead. We've got Ghost behind, though, who's had a very, very good run. And as we go down the straights, going into the left-hander into the second sector, he tries to go around the outside. There's just not enough room there. He's not going to have the grip to get past. And Senna Ghosts, although squeaking up the inside, Smoking Cheese covers him off. He still remains in the lead. A very, very good start from the Alpine. Something's happened to Rodrigo. He's gone off and there's a safety car. So Rodrigo's retired. In the second pre-season race, he's gone. And straight away, it brings out an early safety car. Well, it was very, very neat up until that point. We didn't quite catch what happened. But it has led to a safety car. So we will all be bunched up once again. And Ghost dives straight into the pits. An interesting call, and he's gotten a 5-second time penalty while doing so. Couldn't get the car slowed down in time. But that is a very, very interesting call from Ghost. He's on the hard tyres. Surely he would have wanted to go long on those. But he's changed his mind. He's dived onto a set of mediums, which I doubt he'll be able to take to the end. He can go a long way. Maybe if there's hopes of another safety car, he can dive in for a set of softs and see them to the end. Unless he's going medium until the finish now. But he has given up his track position. He will have one lap fresher tyres than everybody else. However, all the traffic is in front of him. He's going to have to try and make his way back through. But it was a good start from Smoking Cheese. He defended well. He got off the line well. And a bit of a shame for him. I think he would have wanted to try and pull away on those softs. Obviously, all the drivers behind him. Minus Botond in P4 in the Ferrari. Were all on harder tyres. So it would have definitely been a chance for him to try and pull away in this race. However, not quite able to. He will get another chance. The softs won't go off too heavily behind the safety car, so he should be okay. There you go. There are the possible race strategies. It's saying for the soft tyre, the 2-stop will be a little bit better, going soft to mediums. Some may be able to make the soft hards work, and obviously with safety cars that can change things entirely as well. F1 Mad as well, we should note, jumped into the pits as well, and he's gone onto a set of softs. So he will want to try and punch his way back through the pack. The Smoking Cheese now boxed, so he stayed behind the safety car for a whole lap and now has decided to pit, which is a very, very interesting decision. You would have thought he'd come in straight away, unless this is replying to Ghosts, who dove into the pits. But that's it, that's his softs gone. Unless he's got another set, he'll probably go for a harder compound hit. Yes, it is, it's the mediums, which will be a very, very interesting call, especially considering this restart. We'll have 3 of the quickest drivers at the back. Ghosts, F1 Mad and Smoking Cheese. All of them very, very quick. Obviously, F1 Mad and Cheese, race winners. Previous teammates towards the back end of last season, they occupied the McLaren slot. But F1 Mad has moved permanently to Williams with Smoking Cheese as well, finding his way into an Alpine seat. It leaves Josh Owen in the lead of this Grand Prix with Alfie behind him P2. That can be a feisty little battle. Alfie will not let him want to go away. He'll be right up his gearbox, sniffing for any sort of opportunity to get through. Alfie, one of those he had a very off and on season last year. Had race-winning pace, race-winning form. The consistency was definitely lacking for him. Safety car is in this lap, however. And Josh Owen weaving to get that final little bit of warmth in his tyres. Only 3 men dove into the pits, so the rest of them still on the tyres that they started this race on. And we'll see what Josh Owen can do. When does he go as well? It's a interesting final sector. So most people tend to go as late as possible because you've already got to go into a braking zone before it. We'll see what happens. Really aggressively weaving those tyres. He wants a maximum grip before he goes. He's going to bunch the pack up before he legs it. That's what he's done, and he is off. Josh Owen goes, and it's a pretty decent restart. He's done that well. He's already gapped himself to Alfie, who could be under threat by the Ferrari behind him. Bear in mind that Ferrari is also on soft tyres, but it's a perfect restart for Alfie. Already, this man's Ferrari teammate trying to get alongside Bananas and dive through him. JD overtakes Noodle in the pack, and the Ferrari not quite getting any moves done just yet, but he is on the soft compound tyres as F1 Mad muscling his way through Bananas, who has been jumped already by 2 drivers. Ghost and F1 Mad have already gotten through. Smoking Cheese a little way behind. It's not been the best restart for him, but maybe he's sitting just to wait and see what happens in front of him, not trying to get him to too much trouble. But we'll keep an eye still on these guys who will be climbing their way up the pack. F1 Mad now right behind its lead. The Ferrari has already gotten through, and now F1 Mad dives across as well. And on those softs, he wants to utilise them. It's a little bit wide there, but Smoking Cheese still yet to overtake anybody. He's struggling on these mediums at the moment. Is Cheese still in 14th. Meanwhile, back up front, Alfie is close, but not close enough. Obviously, no DRS until the 3rd lap after the safety car. So he's going to have to bide his time. Jensen looks very, very close to an overtaker. Says the Ferrari of Baton and Demizzi still scrapping along here. The Red Bull has had a pretty decent start to this race, up into P4. He's done very, very well. His Ghosts is still climbing up the field. You can see him right on the back of Tyler Jenkins now on the points, but F1 Mad has overtaken him. We assumed it would happen. F1 Mad has gone through, didn't want to waste any more time behind those medium tyres. He knows for a fact that his softs will start degrading soon. Silverstone, very, very harsh on the tyres. You never stop turning around this circuit. And he's already diving up the inside of Jenkins. It's a great move, and Jenkins has almost gone into the path of the Ferrari. And they're still going strong now, side by side as we go down the straight. Ferrari has the inside. It does turn to the outside for the next part of the corner though. If he hangs on, it doesn't matter too much. And Ghosts moves his way up into P10. These guys very, very quickly making their way forward. Smoking Cheese has finally got a move on. And is starting to make some overtakes as well. He's sat in P12 for now. But Ghost has made a huge mistake. That's a massive error. We just got onto him. Senna Ghost. Tyler Jenkins retires from the session as well. And Ghost has completely binned it. Through the fast right-hander. It's a huge mistake. He's very, very lucky to have all four wheels still on that Ferrari. But he's parked up and I believe he is retiring from the session. Another big incident, and it means another safety car straight away. It's a huge error from Senna Ghosts when he retires from the session. He had the potential to get up on the podium. I know those medium tyres were gone, but the safety car was out. He could have changed the front wing, put on a fresh set of tyres, but unfortunately for him, it wasn't to be. This already is starting to turn into a little bit of a race of attrition. We've got Josh Owen in the lead for now. Only a few drivers have yet to pit. Lee hasn't dived into the stops yet. Norris Demizzi, Alfie or Josh Owen. Smoking Cheese has. But he's found his way up into P4. F1 Mad stopped again. Bananas dived into the pits as well. Massey did. Noodle, JD, those two both on the hards, looking to go long. The hards will definitely go to the end. It will be a stretch for the mediums. But I think if Jensen can look after his tyres, he may have a chance. It was one of his sort of areas that he needed to improve on last season. It seemed like he just wasn't able to look after the tyres as well as some of the other drivers around him, which did cost him some big results and potential chances of a race win last year. Should hopefully see the safety car back in at the end of this lap though, and we'll get going again. Tyler Jenkins caught up in the melee of that. I'm not too sure what happened. Maybe they made contact. As they both went through the corner. We'll have to wait and see. So we should hopefully get the message any minute now at the top of the screen, letting us know that the safety car is in this lap and we can get back underway again. There it is. And once again, from the start, it's Josh Owen and Alfie to lead us away. Currently 1 and 2. Demizi in P3. Not really spoken about him much so far, but he's sneaking his way up, yet to stop, which is why he's so high up. But he's kept out of trouble, kept out of mind of everybody else, and it means he's on for a pretty solid result here. That's what pre-season is all about, though, learning the different traits of different drivers, as Josh Owen has gone again, and this time it's worked just like it did before. And QRT Baton has made a mistake. There's already contact behind it to McLaren. And an AlphaTauri is Jensen and JD fighting so hard. And there's even more contact. They've pushed each other off the road. The hand of Jensen goes up. It seemed like a bit of both, but there were massive, massive ding-dongs. Meanwhile, up in front, you can see the Ferrari going side by side with the Haas. Baton on those hard compound tyres, trying to get past Itzley. On those old mediums, he does just about. And now Itzley could fall into the clutches of Jensen. And the McLaren behind, it's going to be 3 wide as we go into the left-hander. No. Lee backs off. But Jensen and JD still fighting hard. And Jensen has to give away the position. But he's managed to find his way back up the inside. He's stuck his nose in there. And they're going to be going side by side. We've seen some incidents happen at this corner before. Will it happen again? It's an Alpine and a McLaren this time. No. Jensen just about keeps the position. He runs off the road ever so slightly, but a great battle between these two ensuing. And JD comes back again. Even more contact. Somehow he's managed to keep the McLaren in a straight line, but he's dropped a few positions in the process. Feisty, feisty stuff between Jensen and JD. Huge moments there from the pair of them. And that could be a potential rivalry that we have to keep an eye out for. As soon as racing starts next season. But Smoking Cheese now, we'll keep an eye on him. A few laps fresher are his mediums compared to the guys in front. And he's already over the back of that Red Bull. He's set his move up and he's gone up the inside. He's got it done. But he may have to defend as he gets to the end of the Wellington straight. We'll have to wait and see. No, he's got enough of a gap. He should be completely fine. Meanwhile, further back though, Massey on the softs. He's close to JD, not close enough. He should have the pace deficit on JD, should Massey. In that Aston Martin. Both tyres are the same age. Massey 2 steps softer for him, and he is gaining here. He's got a lot more as well. You can see that yellow bar at the bottom of his steering wheel. That's the overtake mode. If you look at his, pretty high, around 65-70%. Well, a lot less as you go on to the McLaren, who's on about 30%, which means he's going to have less to defend. The green bar across the wheel means that he's using it to defend. Massey using it to attack. Is he going to get close enough for a move? No, not yet. He's going to have to pick his moments. Maybe that McLaren set up to be a little bit quicker in a straight line. But Banana's now arriving as well. He's sat in P10 at the moment. But right on the back of this little squabble. But Massey goes for it. That third sector. The softer compound tyres much, much faster than the hards are. We've seen a lot of people going through the final corner and actually getting a run on drivers, which almost happened again there. Smoking Cheese as well up in front is very, very close to making a move on Alfie. And we'll have a look at the end of the Hangar Straight. No, not quite. Wellington Straight, I should say. It's not enough. Noodle go for a move on its lead though. And F1 Mad and Jensen fighting. Something's happened to Jensen. He's gone round. He's made a huge mistake. He now finds himself P10. So a lot of drivers in the midfield making some big, big mistakes. Quick drivers as well. And Massey is right on the back of that McLaren. He still can't quite get close enough for a move though. Is there an opening through Maggots and Beckett's? We'll have to wait and see. Not quite. He's backed off a little bit, but as long as he's close enough down the straight, it could be a massive chance for him. DRS is now finally enabled, which means he will start to gain down the straight. but he needs to get his move done quickly because he's got Bananas behind him who wants to have a go. Massey looks around the outside. It's not quite enough for the Aston Martin. He's going to have to be careful of Bananas, whose pace has really ramped up during this race. He's gotten much, much quicker, and on those mediums is looking dangerous compared to these two, but JD runs wide, and that gives Massey the opportunity to go through, and he does. So finally, Massey up into P7 in the Aston Martin. Through, but just about. He's still there though, JD up the inside. He wants to get going again. It will mean he's got to defend down the straight, but I think he held on for long enough, which means that JD might have DRS, but here's Baton moving his way back up the field now. Demizi's dropping as Baton goes into P5 on those hard compound tyres, which we should see him go to the end in. F1 mad as well. Those softs will start to be dropping off now, as you can see. Doesn't have that mechanical grip that the Ferrari in front of him does through there. Bananas. He's gotten past Massey as well now. So it's his turn to see what he can do compared to Messi. He's got almost all of his battery remaining. He's done very, very well to just sit behind. Brilliant race management from him. Sat behind, not used his battery, and he's saving it up for when he actually needs it, and it's now. You can see he's already gaining before the DRS is even opened, and he should just fly by in that Mercedes. Bananas making his way through. We're not used to seeing many Mercedes make overtakes in Formula Original Series. We better get used to it now, though, with Bananas, who is a fierce, fierce competitor in that midfield battle, and will be this season. He's shown some pretty decent pace in this race as well. And we'll look to see, will he be able to close up on this pack in front. Demizi now dropped right off. Those tyres are very, very slow. He's not got it with him. But Alfie and Josh Owen fighting now. And Josh Owen is really holding up this pack to maybe try and see if anybody can get past Alfie before Alfie gets past him. There's going to be a chance here, though, for the Alfa Romeo. He's gone from Ferrari to Alfa Romeo. He's gone from the inside to the outside. And he makes the move stick. Alfie jumps in front of Josh Owen and blocks him off as well. And that's opened the gap for Smoking Cheese to have a look. Not quite enough traction on the exit of Luffield. But now Josh Owen and Alfie side by side through the fast right-hander. No contacts made. And Josh has actually given himself a little bit of breathing room. But brilliant battles going on up and down the grid so far. Smoking Cheese, though, will ride on board with him as we watch, I'd imagine, Alfie and Josh to go side by side. A bit of a kick of the backside for Smoking Cheese, but he kept it going, and more importantly, he kept the momentum going. Is there a chance for a move? No, not quite, but Alfie does go right round the outside. A little bit of contact between him and Josh Owen, but overall, a pretty solid move. And Alfie, two fantastic overtakes round the outside, finds himself in the lead of the Grand Prix. Smoking Cheese, once again, though, biding his time. He doesn't want to rush into anything, but he is right on the rear diffuser of Josh Owen. He's close, but not quite close enough. These medium runners as well. The medium runners need to pay attention to that Ferrari behind. Botond will be looking to get through. His tyres are younger, and those mediums will have gone off as well. He should really have the grip and pace advantage at the moment. One man who shouldn't is F1 Mad. 7 laps on those softs. They will definitely be past their best. However, he's still sticking with the front runners very, very well, showing that maybe tyre management is a very, very strong suit for him. But Alfie has got to try and go again, and there's a mistake by a McLaren. It's JD. Alfie goes through. He's passed nice and easily. And back up into the lead. Josh Owen tries to have a little look, but he didn't get enough of his nose in there, and he's cut off completely. But a few drivers diving into the pits now. It's Smoking Cheese, F1 Mad, and Demizi. Demizi getting a time penalty as well for that. It's a 5-second time penalty as he dives into the stops. But what will these guys go on to until the end of the race? Cheese goes on to a set of mediums. That should very comfortably see him through. Same with F1 Mad, but Debizzy has to go onto a set of hard tyres, unfortunately. But it will mean he's got very, very fresh tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix. Josh Owen and Alfie, remember, still yet to pit. And QRT Baton, as well as Noodle and JD, may not even need to stop again. It's very up in the air. We do not know what can happen in this race now. We've got sort of two split battles. We've got the battle for the lead on track at the moment. And then the guys behind who have just pit. These two need to get a move on as well and make sure they're not scrapping too hard because they will lose the lead. Especially with Cheese and F1 Mad on fresh tyres. Former teammates, remember. And two drivers who are very, very quick. And Josh Owen in the DRS. Is he going to go for a move or is he smart about it? And tries to stay behind. No, going around the outside. And the outside seems to be really favourable for these drivers. They're still side by side. Are they going to dive into the pits? No, none of them do. Josh and Alfie both staying out one more lap. And it means that QRT Botond is drawing ever nearer. He's sitting pretty at the moment. Standing behind, not wanting to make any moves. More ERS left. The energy recovery system for him as well. Bananas is also gaining. He could go to the end of those mediums. It would be a long stretch. But looking after them well enough, he should see his way through. So then, just over 10 laps left in this Grand Prix. We've seen a few drivers dive into the pits. Two that are not yet. Josh Owen and Alfie. Surely we'll see them going in now. There's a yellow flag in the middle sector though. Something's happened between JD. Massey was involved as well. Whether there was contact or just synchronized spinning, I don't know. But finally, Josh Owen dives into the pits. Alfie stays out though. Alfie staying out one more lap. He's going to lose a lot of time on those medium compound of tyres. 15 laps old as well. And QRT I should say, will have a much, much quicker set of tyres beneath him. Not fantastic. 10 laps old is still an awful lot. The harder compound means they last longer. He should be right on the back of Alfie. He's got the DRS. But he's not actually fantastically close to him. I thought he'd be a little bit closer. Wait and see what happens. But Josh Owen dives into the pits onto a set of soft compound tyres, which should see him go to the end. He's only 3 seconds away from the likes of F1 Mad and Smoking Cheese as well, which is very, very good, considering the amount of laps he stayed out extra. And now he's on the softs compared to their mediums. He will have a pace advantage for the best part of what's remaining of this Grand Prix. But F1 Mad still right on the back of Smoking Cheese. Within DRS. Maybe using Cheese just to climb their way up the order. Get that gap down. As QRT Baton still is not close enough to go for a move. Is Alfie going to dive into the pits now? Yes, he does. Along with Bananas. Both of them coming in. And you'd imagine that they will go onto a set of soft compound tyres to see this race through. F1 Mad on the back of Smoking Cheese. Not quite close enough to go for a move. I don't even know if he wants to go for a move as JD makes another mistake. Through Copse Corner. But as they all dive into the pits, it leaves Smoking Cheese in P2. 20 seconds behind QRT Baton It's a big deficit. He needs to gain 2 seconds a lap if he wants to get there. But he is on fresh mediums. And the Ferrari in the lead is on very old hards. It's possible. We've seen more crazy things happen in Formula Original Series. As JD has finally decided to give up the ghost and retires in the pits. But if he can keep those tyres going to the end, this man that you're looking at right now is in a very, very comfortable position to win this race. Smoking Cheese and F1 Mad have got to get after him. Whether they will or not remains to be seen. As JD has left the session. I think F1 Mad, he would be wise to stay behind Cheese for the moment. Because yes, he could fight him and get a P2, but it would be a maximum P2 if those two are still squabbling. Or he can sit and wait and see if Cheese can gain and kill his tyres closing in on the Ferrari up in front. And if he doesn't, then go for the move. And I think that is what he's doing. He can charge his battery as well. These two working together to try and see if they can take the win. Well, keep an eye on that gap. Remember, they need 2 seconds a lap to catch up. And it's around about 20 seconds as they go across the line. Two very, very quick drivers as well. We're not doubting their pace. Both race winners. Both of them potential champions for this year, and they know that. They know that if they stay consistent and stay quick, there's no reason why they can't have the championship. Josh Owen, though, slowly making inroads as well. He's 2 seconds behind F1 Mad for now. And he's still got a few laps left of those soft tyres being the quicker tyres. Alfie as well could be a shout for a good position at the end of this race. As we go through the middle sector, Smoking Cheese has already gained a whole second on the Ferrari out in front. And with a fair few sectors to go as well, that could improve even more. So it's going to be close, this finish. Noodle with a 3-second time penalty. We'll go back to Bananas though. Obviously, he went into the pits onto that set of softs. And I said he'd had a good little race. I said he's had a good bit of pace as well. And now he overtakes Jensen on those hard compound tyres. There's nothing the Alpine can do there. And Bananas moves his way up into P7. And he's got a lot of drivers in front of him that he can gain on for sure. 18.3 was the gap between Smoking Cheese and QRT. Baton. He's moved his way into P7 as Bananas. I think the Mercedes outfit will be very good for him. Tyler Jenkins, we don't know much about. I'm not too sure of his performance. It seems like he'll sit quite comfortably in that midfield pack. However, we obviously will not know that until we go racing in Bahrain in 1 week's time. As Josh Owen has caught onto the back of these two in front. Now, will they utilise Josh in trying to gain on that man that's in the lead? Or will they hold out for a moment? We're not too sure. But as I was saying with Bananas, obviously he's got more experience in Formula Regional Series. There's Josh Owen. Down the straight, overtakes F1 Mad. It looks a little bit like Team Orders it. Josh with the quicker softs. Swapping with his teammate. Not losing any time either. And Josh Owen finds himself now on the back of Smoking Cheese, whose medium tyres are a couple laps older. You never know. If he gets ahead of Cheese, he could really help to get that gap down to the man in the lead. As Bananas is already on the back of Dom Izzy. He's done well, and surely he'll have a look as we go down the Wellington Straight. He'll set himself up. Uses the ERS, uses the DRS. Feints to the left, goes right. He's got to get it done round the outside. Can he zip round? Yes, he can. Superior traction, superior grip. And overall, the pace of that Mercedes means that he finds his way into P6. And that'll be a very good little finish for Bananas today, who's been very, very impressive. And Josh Owen is right on the back of Smoking Cheese as well now. Josh Owen is going for it. And once again, he's got it done down the straight. That Williams has got a rocket ship in the back of it today. Very, very quick in a straight line. And it means now Josh Owen can utilise what's left of those soft compound tyres to try and gain on the man in the lead. But time is running out. 5 laps now. We need to really, really gain. And I don't think they're going to have enough time to do it. But they'll obviously give it a go. F1 Mad has really dropped off now. He lost that DRS to Smoking Cheese. And now the gap's already gone up to 2 seconds. 2 seconds between F1 Mad and Smoking Cheese. Alfie as well, sat in P5. He's lingering. And he could very much get close to F1 Mad. Potentially even the podium spots by the end of this race. But Josh Owen is really pushing, trying to shake Smoking Cheese off. Trying to get him out of his DRS range. Which is not an easy thing to do. Josh Owen is driving really, really well at the moment. It's a super lap. He knows he's not going to have this deficit until the checkered flag. He knows that. Those softs will drop off eventually, and Smoking Cheese will once again be handed the advantage in grip. But as for now, Josh Owen is doing a very, very good job. He doesn't quite break DRS though. It's the one thing you need to do around here, because on the hanger straight, Smoking Cheese gains the best part of a second back almost on Josh Owen, and is right there where he was again before. Noodle and Jensen fighting, as Jensen just about gets in front of Noodle. Noodle on those fresher and softer tyres, on those 4-lap old mediums. He's close, not quite close enough as of yet. As Jensen backs off, he moved completely off the racing line, gave him the position back. Whether that was because he felt he took the position illegally, or if it's just because he wants DRS down the straight, I'm not too sure. It's either very clever or very respectful driving from Jensen as IRT Massey dives into the pits. He's the next person to retire. So we're left with 10. But Noodle right on the back of his teammate now. Dom Izzy, unfortunately for him, has really dropped off in this race. And there you go. Bit of team orders there. The Red Bulls swap around. And they're sat in P7 and P8 at the moment. But what Noodle has done, he's put his teammate now right in the grasp of Jensen, who is quicker, and he tries to sip it round the outside. That's a fantastic overtake. He uses all of the track. He goes over the white lines, but they're still side by side. Almost contact made. There is contact. It's a huge incident, and both of them are slapped into the wall. It was going to happen. Side by side very rarely ends up positively when you're going through Maggots and Beckett's. And unfortunately, it's happened again. Jensen and Demizzi collide. Front wing damage for Jensen. I don't actually believe there is some for the Red Bull. And he keeps going. Whereas Jensen will hurriedly dive into the pits. But a big, big collision. 2 in 1 once again did not go. But I think that will mean that Demizzi will stay where he is in P8. Not enough time for anybody to catch him. But Alfie at F1 Mad, there was time for Alfie to catch him. And he zips up the inside and moves into P4. A good overtake from him. He finds himself in P4. It's been a good little race from the man that was in Ferrari last season. He's made the switch to Alfa Romeo this year. Will that be fruitful for him? I'm not too sure. But F1 Mad is still right on the back. He's not seen the last of him yet. He, however, is sensible. Stays behind through Maggots and Beckett's and will wait for the hanger straights to have a go. And will ride on board with F1 Mad then. as the sun starts to glare onto his Williams. He uses up every tiny little bit of battery he's got to get up to the back of that diffuser. The red light is shining, but so is the Williams as he dives up the inside into P4. Goes F1 Mad. It's a good little battle that we can see now between these two that will happen to the end. Alfie sticking his nose up the inside. He's not quite through yet, but he gets a brilliant exit and finds his way back up into P4. Fantastic little battle between these two. And with 3 laps to go, they will be fighting all the way. Alfie versus F1 Mad. F1 Mad sits back and he'll go again down the straight. We'll have to wait and see. Smoking Cheese as well, right behind Josh Owen. He's not going to be close enough for an overtake as of yet. F1 Mad is considerably closer. What can he do? He looks up the inside, goes up the inside. He's got the position, but you've got to remember he's now going to have the tighter angle and the worser exit as we go through the rest of the second sector. But he's hung on so far. Alfie is behind though. Are they going to be going side by side through Cop's Corner? Yes, they are. Unless they back out, none of them do. None of them want to give each other a hand. And through Maggots and Beckett's, they're still side by side before F1 Mad finally concedes the position. And he's going to have to go again. It's brilliant driving from the pair of them. Meanwhile, back up in front as well, Smoking Cheese is going to go round the outside of Josh Owen. And the Williams is demoted to P3. The other one wants to get up to P4 and does before the corner's even finished. F1 Mad makes the move. Is he going to be aware of the little dance up the inside this time? No, it doesn't come. So finally, F1 Mad keeps the lead for a fair amount more corners than he did before. And Smoking Cheese has made his way up into P2 as well. Josh Owen, has he eked everything out of those soft tyres that he had? It remains to be seen. He's only got a couple more chances with 2 laps to go. Yeah, Josh is not close enough. What about F1 Mad and Alfie? Alfie going for it again. Up the inside this time. He's going to have the tighter angle as well. And he's gone a bit deep through there. But he remains in front for now. F1 Mad is close. We'll ride on board with him through here. Is he going to go up the inside? He's thinking about it. It's not a clever option, however. And he stays put where he is. Jensen with the fastest lap of the race, obviously on those fresh softs. He's right behind. Look at the overspeed that F1 Mad has through Maggots and Beckett's. So much quicker. A much better exit as well. And he's lined himself up beautifully to try and go through. He points his car like an arrow. Can he shoot it straight through? Yes, he does. Up the inside, a little bit of a touch from behind by Alfie, and he is still there. Is he going to poke his nose up the inside? No, he's not. He sits and waits. 1 more lap to go in this race. Nobody, it looks like, is going to challenge the race leader. It's between Smoking Cheese and Josh Owen then for P2. The 2 podium positions battling it out. We could see this time and time again this season. What will happen? Josh Owen right behind Smoking Cheese. He's got to use everything. He has to. Sometimes, though, everything is not enough. And Josh Owen does not get close enough to Smoking Cheese. Alfie, though, close enough to F1 Mad. He ekes up the inside. Slams on his brakes and makes sure his car is pointing in the best direction possible to keep his Alfa Romeo, I should say, in P4. But the Williams will be coming straight back. And he doesn't want to waste any time. Alfie going defensive. They're both slowing down. Nobody wanted to go first through Maggots and Beckett's. It's crazy driving between the two. Nobody wanted to have to defend up the top of the hill. But F1 Mad eventually has to. But he's got a bit of a gap. What can Alfie do? Josh Owen and Smoking Cheese as well, fighting hard. Josh Owen has managed to get back through. Smoking Cheese is looking as well. As that happens, QRT Baton comes across the line and wins for the first time. It's a brilliant race for him. Puts him in great stead. But Josh Owen will just about hold on to Smoking Cheese to claim P2. A penalty, though, maybe at the end there, means Smoking Cheese gets the lead. F1 Mad and Alfie still squabbling, but F1 Mad comes home P4. Finishes the job just about ahead of Alfie. Bananas P6. A very solid race for him. And that will raise some eyebrows for this season. A vast improvement from him. Noodle P7, Demizzi P8. Solid result from the Red Bulls. They're in the wars a little bit. They come home in the points. Italy P9. He's sort of been nowhere this race. It's not been his strongest performance. And with Jensen rounding things off in P10. But QRT Botond. It's a brilliant result for him. He kept it classy. He dived into the pits at just the right time. Took those hards until the very end. A brilliant result from him. A fantastic drive. A clever drive. F1 Mad getting driver of the day. But there it is. For the final time before we go racing in Formula Regional Series. This is what it was. QRT Botond took the win in the Ferrari. A very, very clever drive, which found himself 7 seconds ahead of the likes of Smoking Cheese in P2 and Josh O in third. F1 Mad came home P4. That Williams outfit looking very, very tasty and very difficult to beat as we go through the season. Alfie finishes P5. A very good showing for him before the first round. And Bananas P6. And it's Noodle Italy, Demizzi and Jensen rounding off the top 10. And IRT Massey, JD, Tyler Jenkins and Senna Ghosts, along with TTV Rodrigo, all didn't finish the race. So what have we learned? We've learned that there are quite a few teams who could be in with a shout at the constructors. Alpine and Williams, as mentioned earlier. But Ferrari have definitely put their name into the hat. Obviously, one of their drivers retiring. It was a poor mistake from him. But he was P2 in qualifying. A very, very quick lap. And if, unlike real life, the Ferrari strategy is that good, we could see some very big changes. Red Bull look like a midfield outfit. We wait to see just how quick the likes of Aston Martin and McLaren can be. Mercedes have made an improvement. They've jumped up. But that's all we get. Some questions have been answered, but all the important ones will be answered in 1 week's time. Please join us once again at 6 o'clock to watch round 1 of Series 2 for Formula Regional Series. Round the circuit of Bahrain. You do not want to miss this opener. It could be anybody's. But thank you so much for joining us for the final time in pre-season. My name is Binwell Judd, and we will see you in a bit.